Okay, so now let's go in and use the live software to create a report. We're going to apply what we've just learned in the Fluke Connect desktop software to actually create a report. So this is the Fluke Connect desktop software. We'll start here on the Tools tab because, as I mentioned, this is where you go to connect your II900 or your II910 to the Fluke Connect desktop software. You'll use the USB cable to plug in your tool to your desktop or your computer, and then the tool will get recognized, and you'll choose whether you want to download all of the images or just selected images from the tool to your computer. The first thing we'll want to do is click on the Reports tab because we are going to be creating a report. So if I click on the Reports tab, here I can see all of the titles for all of my reports, the different templates that I've used, acoustic, thermal, when the reports were last modified, who modified them, etc. Now what I did want to show you is right now there's no rhyme or reason to the order. So if I click on the title, I can sort alphabetically. So April, February, and January, descending or ascending. I can sort based on template used, so I can get all of my thermal reports together, all of my acoustic reports together, sort by date, ascending or descending. So I've got the most current reports at the top now. Over here, the other thing I can do is I can search for reports. So maybe I want to see all of my January reports. So I type in the word January and hit the search option, and now it quickly takes me to all of my January reports. I want to delete that and go back to showing everything. The other thing I can do over here in the Actions drop-down list box is I can edit my report. So if I click on Edit, maybe I was in the middle of working on my report and I needed to run off to a meeting. So I wanted to save my work so that I could come back to it at a later time and update that information. So I could go in right here and start typing to, oh, and when that is one good thing. It does have spell check. So if I spelled something wrong here, I could say left mouse click and fix that. But I could go in and continue working on my report and editing my report if I wanted to. We're going to go ahead and click close. We do not want to save our changes. We can download our report. So I can choose to download my report as a PDF file or as a .docs file, either one. I can change the name of my report if I want to, maybe I've updated it so it's revision 2 or revision 3. And I can choose the location of where that folder downloads to. So this is the location of where that file is stored on my PC. We'll click cancel there. I can email the report. If a customer says, hey, I'd like another copy of that, or I lost my copy, I can just click email. This will launch your default email software, and then you can type in, whoever you want to send it to. So whatever person you want to send it to. It automatically attaches the report as a PDF file in this particular case. You can change the subject, etc. And last but not least, we can delete. So if we've been in the system and we've been practicing a whole bunch and creating a bunch of sample reports, we could go in and delete those reports if we wanted to. Okay, so now we actually know we want to create a new report. So we're on the Reports tab. We go to the blue Create Report button, just like I showed you in the slides. You'll see 6 different options for report templates that you can choose from: basic acoustic, basic non-thermal, etc. These are all the different types. In our case, we're going to choose basic acoustic because we're working with acoustic imagers. We click continue. And the system automatically presents us with the select measurements to include screen. So because we're choosing a basic acoustic report, it only is going to show us the acoustic images. We don't see any other types of measurements, no thermal images, just acoustic images that we've shown. So I mentioned we would be able to use filter if we were in a multi-dimensional type report, but we're just using acoustic, so there's no option there. But we can sort on newest to oldest, oldest to newest, A to Z or Z to A. We can go in and select which images we want to include. What's great about this is that let's say I ran my route on February 24th, just like this customer did. He was kind enough to share his images with me, so I have real life images from the factory. Maybe I want to include all of these images. I know that all of these are from the route I ran that day. Instead of individually selecting each image, I can click this checkbox here, and voila, all of the images from February 24th are automatically selected. Now maybe I want to scroll down and select additional measurements. Maybe I want to select this one called default 002. I can add that one, and then we'll leave these other ones. What the system does as well is it automatically counts how many measurements you've included. So I've included 9 acoustic images or 9 measurements for my report. So that's how many I have. So I want to add these to my report. So I click on the blue Add Measurements button. And that takes me to my report editor. And remember, we've got save and view options across the top. So we can save it, print it, quick print, scale. I'll come back to scale in a moment. Navigation pane is, actually, let me do this. So we've got, I'll come back and do these, do this in more detail in a moment. So we've got printing and viewing options across the top. Over here's, again, remember our navigation pane. So we can see a preview of each one of the pages if I want to go there. So I really love this because then I can jump ahead to different pages in the report quite quickly without using the scroll option. And the main area of the screen is where you can go in and make changes, like you can edit things, add text, etc. And up at the upper right hand corner, you can rearrange your images here. And then down here on the bottom, remember, this is where you can configure the report to add and remove different information. So let's go back up here to the top and do this in more detail. We'll come back to scale in a moment. Navigation pane. So this is the navigation pane. If you do not want to use this, you want to zoom in on the report page itself, you can simply, this is a toggle it off, toggle it on. Like I said, love having this, so I leave it on. Editing fields, right now, everything that you can edit is in blue. So anything that's a blue field, you can make a change to. I can select a date, or I can actually just type in a date, however you want to do it. But if you don't want the fields to be highlighted in blue, you can simply turn that off. So now they're not there anymore. I, again, like to have those on so I know where I can go in and make changes. I can add watermarks if I want to my report. I can add a text watermark or a picture watermark, either one of those. If I'm in here and I make some sort of horrible mistake, I can just do clear all and start over again. Page layout, that simply is how I want to view it. Single, 2-page, wrap page. Enable continuous scrolling. That's if I want to be able to scroll through the report this way. I do like to be able to do that, so I leave that turned on. And then I can zoom in or out. I'll come back to operating conditions in a bit here. So we'll start with how to create a cover page. So right now we click on the cover page, and remember I said that if you wanted to change the logo, you can simply double click on this to highlight the area that you want to work on. I click on my folder. This takes me to a folder on my computer. I happen to have all my logos in my picture folder, but you can put them anywhere you want. You can search for them on your computer, and I can use any one of these different logos. So let's say I choose this one, the Fluke Connect logo. So I want to add that. So that looks okay, but it looks a little strange, maybe like it's stretched. So I click here and I can look, and sure enough, the image has been stretched. So I don't actually want to, oh, let's go back here. I don't actually want to use the stretch option because that looks weird. So let's just use the normal version there. And alignment is where the logo is placed inside the box. So right now it's in the top left corner. Maybe I want to center it. So it puts it into the center of the box. Now I can undo or reset, or I can delete if I decide to make any changes there. So, so that's my new logo I've chosen. I want to go here and select that. Maybe I do all of my reports on the 15th of every month. So I put that in here. And author, that's our division, Fluke Liability, but maybe I want to put in my name as the author. I'm the one who's creating the report. And down here in the summary section, this is where you type in the information about, what your findings are. So, just what you did. It was an inspection report, when it happened, May 2021, what the report contains, acoustic images, and then maybe what your findings were. Something like that. What's great about this is, as I pointed out, you can go in and edit this. So if you show this to your manager and he wants to have changes made, you could go back into the software and edit the report cover page to make the changes that he wants to make. So next we're going to talk about rearranging our images. So right now you can see that these are each one of the different images in our report. And if I wanted to, maybe I want to go in and, let's see, I want to move, maybe I want to move this one to the very top of the report. So I use my left mouse button to click and select it, and then I drag it up to move it to a different location in the report. So I can keep moving it up so it moves all the way up to the top of the report maybe. So there we go. So I've moved this from the very middle or end of the report to the very top of the report. Maybe I want to delete one of my images. So let's say I want to delete, that one is 306. So maybe 306 is probably not one I want to have included in my report. So I click on the three little dots here and I click remove. And now 306 is gone from our report. If I want to add new images, I click here, the blue edit icon, and that will take me back to the select measurement screen. And you'll see that 306 was the one I deleted, so it's no longer selected because I deleted it from my report. Maybe I want to go down and include the one that's called production 001, so I click that one, I click update. And now if we scroll through, we can see that production 001 has been added to our report. It's just that easy. It's very, very easy to configure. So next, let's go down here and we'll look at the field list. So this is the configuration part of the report. As I said, if we click on the drop-down arrow here, you'll see all of the measurement data in the report itself. And this lines up with what you see over here. So we've got name, type of capture, minimum decibels, maximum decibels, etc. PD count is something that's currently not supported. It's for the PDQ type mode, and we aren't supporting that just yet. But so here we've got all these other pieces of information, and there are additional like ambient temperature, discharge type, relative humidity. Those are also part of the PDQ type, which is not yet supported. But as I pointed out earlier in the slides, maybe our audience isn't that technical, so they don't know what minimum decibel or maximum decibel is. So we might want to remove that from the report. So if I just deselect those checkboxes, then I'll be able to see that now those are no longer included in our image information section, right? So it's shorter, it's more concise. I also said because I didn't select gas type and leak type, I might want to take those out as well. But oh, and the other thing I wanted to do is add notes. Remember, that's one of those things that everybody always wants to do. So if I click on the notes option, you'll notice that, let's go back here. Let's see if we can find the file. No, that's not it. Sorry about this, guys. Trying to find it. There we go. So this particular file has notes. So you'll see that it's no longer includes the minimum decibel or the maximum decibel, but because I did add notes and this particular image has notes associated with it, you'll see that the notes are included. So if this did not have any notes, then there would be no notes included. Now, this is another frequently asked question. So everybody's like, well, it's rolling to the next page and I really want all of the information about the one image on the one page. That's where the scale comes in. So if I wanted to, right now it's set to 100%, but maybe if I change it to make it a little bit smaller, now I got one of the notes on there, so maybe I need to make it a little bit smaller than that. And now, there we go. So now using the scale option, now it shrinks everything down on the page in order to fit all of the information on there. So I've got the acoustic image, I've got the image information here, I've got my leak queue information, and I've got the notes. It all fits on one page. Now, the other way to do that, obviously, is to delete some of these other fields as well. You can do that as well. So we'll go. Next thing I want to talk about is the leak queue calculator. So this is one other piece of information you can configure. You'll see that the leak queue data is available on every image individually. So we've got leak queue details on this particular image that we're looking at, and the next one down, we've also got leak queue details on that one. So this is information that appears on every single image itself. The leak queue summary that's actually data that's on the third page of the report. And what it does is it takes the file names for every single one of the leaks that you found. It assigns the leak queue rating, gives the leak queue rate, and the estimated cost. Now, again, you can see that this information is calculated based on the default data in the system that was provided by our acoustic imaging team. But this is information that you can configure simply by clicking on operating conditions. So if I click on operating conditions, you'll see that right now everything's in euros and it's metric. So maybe I want to switch this out to imperial. So I switch that out to imperial. The defaults change, so the currency goes from euros to dollars. I can set whatever type of gas I want, air, helium, etc. The pressure is switched from bar to PSI, because that's how we calculate it here in the United States. I could enter in the cost of gas in US dollars, the cost of electricity, etc. Anything I want to change, I can change here. And then once I've selected my data and entered my parameters, I click apply. We go back to the third page here. And you'll see that the leak rate has changed to a US measurement, and the costs are now in US dollars. So we found this is what our current leak rate total would be based off our inspection, and this is how much it would be costing us a year. Okay, so we've gone in, we've created our cover page, we've rearranged our images, deleted some, added some others. We've configured our report so that we selected the fields of information we want to display, and the fields that we've selected here will display for every single one of the measurements. So it'll display, this is one measurement. You'll see that the dB levels are gone here, decibel levels are gone here. So it applies, these changes apply to every single one of the images in the report. So now all we need to do is save our report. So we click the upper left-hand icon here called save. We can name our report. And then click the save button. And now you can see that the report has been named May 2021 Monthly Basic Acoustic Report. At this point, we can export it as a PDF or .docs file if we wanted to. Oops, sorry, that's how